Tricia Ping from BookPage, and I'm here with Alex George, the author of A Good American, that just came out last month. And he's here on book tour. He'll be speaking at Parnassus later tonight. And he's going to tell us a little bit about what it's like being on a book tour and a few of his memorable experiences on the road. What's your most memorable interaction with someone from the audience during a book signing?
Well, there was a moment in Wichita at Watermark Books when, during the Q&A, a lady put up her hand and she said, very politely, said, I wonder if you might tell me where you've got the name Meisenheimer. And Meisenheimer is the name of the family which the book talks about over the course of 3 or 4 generations. Mm-hmm. And there was something about the way that she asked the question that I could tell that there was a reason why she was asking it, and I answered truthfully, which was that I pulled it out of my head. I wanted to have a German name, and rather than going scouring through graveyards or telephone directories, I thought, well, I'll just make one up, which is what I did, and it sounded suitably German to my ignorant ears. And she nodded and said, okay. And then afterwards she came up to me and told me that Meisenheimer was in fact her maiden name, and her sister was in the audience as well, and they both stood there in a slightly accusatory way, and I sort of said, I sort of apologised and said, well, I had no idea, but it was just one of those coincidences. So that's one that I'm probably not going to forget in a hurry.
Well, have you noticed, you've been doing a lot of traveling by air, right?
Yes.
Have you noticed anyone reading your book on the plane or in the airport or anything like that?
No, I haven't, and it's something that I hope I will do at some point. I did when I was signing some stock the other day at Barnes & Noble in Columbia, where I live. A lady walked past and she saw me do it, and she did a double take and said, I just bought that book. So that was kind of nice, but she wasn't actually reading it at the time. But when I was in Atlanta, a couple of days after the book was published, I was rushing between flights trying to get to, where was it, Birmingham. And there was a bookshop right next to the gate where I was flying out of, and I just peered in and I looked around for the book to see whether it was there, and it wasn't. Which was a little disappointing, so I went in a little bit further, and in fact it was there, but it was the back in the and it was on the bestseller list at number 15, which, since the book had only been out for 2 days, I'm not quite sure how that worked, but I wasn't going to ask too many questions, so I went in and told the people behind the till who I was, and they very kindly let me sign their stock, and on we went. But that was kind of that was the first time I'd really seen it out in the wild, so that was nice.
So I assume you've had to sign a lot of books at the stores when you visit? I
have. My hand is still attached to my wrist and arm, but only just. Yes, I have. The most hardcore experience was in Birmingham at Alabama Booksmith, and I walked into the room and there were 1,000 copies of my book stacked up on the floor, and and 3 Sharpies, and we got through 2 of the Sharpies signing these 1,000 books, and it took 3 hours, which is 10.8 seconds a book for all you math fans out there. But it was wonderful. It was good fun, and the owner of Alabama Booksmith, Jake Reese, is a terrific guy, and he's extremely funny and very charming, and he made it as painless as he possibly could, and just kept me laughing while I was signing.
Well, that's good. I was going to say, I hope that at least bought you dinner or something like that after 3 hours of signing.
In terms of culinary highlights. The meal after that, there's a wonderful restaurant in Birmingham where we ate afterwards, and it was stunningly good. Stunningly good.
Have you had a lot of readers, since the book is about an immigrant story, and so many people from America do have their roots in other countries, have you had many readers come and share their own kind of family history with you? A lot, yes.
It's been astonishing how many people have done that, and both in person and also online. People have written to me and said that it could have been their grandparents or their great grandparents, and that's been a wonderful experience, and it's you know the immigration experience is more or less in this country a universal one, and it's been a lot of fun. And what's amazing is that oftentimes the stories that I've heard, I mean, they would all make wonderful novels, and of course they have the benefit of actually being true, whereas I just made mine up.
Well, thank you so much for talking to us today. We're looking forward to hearing you read tonight at Parnassus.
Well, thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks.